Hey, so I don't wanna do any edit on this podcast. So I probably will never have any thought of intro. I will just go with the flow every Saturday or every Sunday. I don't know. Actually, we are Sunday the 20th of April, and I'm recording it at the moment where I should get it out and post it. Well, in fact, I didn't find any kind of stories in my week. Like, I have some, but these are more anecdotes than stories, real stories. Because I define a story where something has changed in my life, even if it's like really small, but something changed in my way of thinking, in my body, or anything. So I don't have any big story to tell, but here are three things that are worth sharing with you today. The first story uh, happened on Friday. Friday was my birthday, actually, and to enjoy it, I went to London because one of my friend Law was there with a friend of her for holidays that was like planned for from October 2024. So it's really interesting that uh, the day of my birthday, she's in London, but I'm on Cardiff, which means that we can see each other on like a really different environment. So it was really funny. Um, so I went there at 10, something like that. I arrived just under Big Ben. Um, we started walking toward Buckingham. We visited a lot of parks. It was really great because I saw a lot of things that I didn't see early. The last time I went to London, sorry, with my girlfriend. So it was really great. We went on more on the living side, like not living. How can I say that? Where people from London go. So we're from. Oh, I don't know how to say that. Like the side where they live and where like really not touristic. Really, the side not touristic at all. And we ate fish and chip there. It was great. Really, it was a little restaurant. It was amazing. And this walk in the side was really interesting. It really makes me really think of moving to London because like the city feels amazing for real. Um, like it's not like in Paris where everyone seems to be moving fast and like no one has time. In London, it's quite peaceful. Not peaceful. I wouldn't say peaceful because obviously there are a lot of mm, noise and things like that. Sorry, but it's really like calm. The rhythm of the city is really calm and great to live in. I think, and so I would love to like live in London. Probably not more than 5 years. I think 5 years will be the maximum, but being there for some years, 1, 2, maybe 3, will be great, I think, because you just like live a different culture. You you kind of start being Londonian one after like 2 or 3 years. You know what I mean? So it will be really great, I think, but really expensive. I checked the monthly expenses of people living in London, and it's around £4,000. So we are not there yet, but that's that's a goal because I really think I will enjoy it. Like the fact that I'm French and that I can just like talk in French and not being understood at all by the person around me is quite interesting. Like that's amazing to be able to talk in French and like people will just like stare at you but don't will never understand what you mean exactly because like you have your really Frenchy accent and you have your slang that no one will understand. Even an English speaker that would understand English French won't really understand what you mean. Like the first time I experienced that was when I went to London with Amber, with my girlfriend, 7 or 8 months ago, and we were talking with each other in French, and like it felt like a bubble where no one could enter in it, and it's really great. So yeah, I think I would like to live like in the next years. I think I will live in big cities like that in other countries because that's probably the most interesting way to discover the culture without like having to disconnect from everything. Because of course, to understand the English culture, I should go like on the countryside and on like really historical cities. But I can't do that if I wanna keep working. Maybe if I'm remote, it could work. But like that's 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 not how it works. Not for a junior dev like me, in fact. So yeah, this travel made me really think about moving to London, and like this changed my perception of living in a big city, I think. So yeah, I will probably go to London. I hope so in my 20s. It will be amazing because I'm 21 now. That's amazing to say that I'm 20 now. Like it's a new uh destinies. Oh wow. I don't think decade. It's a new decade that starts. And kind of everyone saying that this is the best decade, but I feel so old. I don't know. No, I don't feel old, but like that's weird. That's really weird. A weird feeling to say that you're 20. Wow. Then, what is the next story? The next story is the fact that I probably won't listen to music anymore on my own from now. Because when I was leaving London on Friday afternoon to get back to Cardiff, I had my music in my earbuds, and I really felt like the music was replacing my thoughts, as if I wasn't thinking anymore, sorry, and just like feeling like my brain was in pause while the music was playing, and this is a weird feeling. And so I was like, if the music have this like effect in your brain where you can't think anymore or like think really slowly and being distracted every time and things like that, music isn't that great when you're on your own. Like when you're just um, you and yourself. I don't want my brain to stop thinking. Like I want to keep thinking on my problems and like try to resolve them, try to move forward on things instead of just like not living. Because I feel like when you think, this is how you know someone is living or not. If the person is not living, is not thinking, um, they are just like their life is just paused. I don't know how to say that, but like you you're not doing anything when you're listening to music in a like intellectual way. Like you're not learning, you're not um, recording things, you're not storing data in your brain. Like you're just your brain is just paused for me. And I say that only like under certain conditions, like you should be alone. You should be with music like in your head only, like with with earbuds or a headset, things like that. Because it's really not the same when you're with people and music is in the background, or when you're listening to music with other people or thing like with other people, something like that. So under these conditions where you're alone and you have music only for yourself and you're not doing anything else, your brain is like just in pause. And that wasn't a great feeling. When I felt like that on Friday afternoon, it was kind of weird because I didn't like this feeling. I was like, I don't think I'm just in pause. This is the same thing as if I was like scrolling on TikTok for years. You know what I mean? You're not like in, you're not active in your life, and this is a thing that I don't really like. So yeah, I probably won't listen to music on my own anymore. What I did from Friday night was that I listened to a podcast. I discovered the podcast Diary of a CEO, which is like an English podcast where a CEO invites a CEO, an entrepreneur invites scientists or people of interest like this and talk about their area of expertise for like a year or two, an hour or two, sorry. And so it's really, really, really interesting. I went to Tesco yesterday, listening to this podcast, and it was a 2 hour long podcast, and I kept listening even after coming back here in my place and like working on my things and stuff like that. I kept listening to it because it's really interesting. And this is probably the best way to like use like use your brain or keep it active when you don't want to think actively on something particular. Like in the morning when I go to the gym, I like to have music on my head, like in my head, because it's morning. I don't wanna like get into the rhythm of walking and being like always trying to go fast. Like I like to take my time, and I think this is the best way to like keep it slow and enjoying the moment without being like overwhelmed by all the things around me. So yeah, I will probably like stop listening to music alone and like just listen to podcast or keeping my head out of keeping my head clean so that I can think about everything I want. Like. Okay, so this was the second story or the second thing I wanna talk about with you guys, because this is this is really interesting subject where anyone can have a different opinion on that just because of past experiences or because of just how they see music and the effects of music on them. So if ever you have like an opinion on that is different of mine, please send me a message about this and like let's have a talk about that, because it's really interesting. And I'm really like open on maybe I just like misinterpreted the thing that I was living in my head, the feeling that I had, and maybe it's really it's really not that, you know. So yeah, send me a message if you have a different opinion, and we'll talk about it. It's really interesting. The third story is my time capsule from my 19 years old me. Because when I was 19 a year ago, I asked some people around me to give me some questions that I would be able to ask myself at the time, so when I was 19, and ask them to me a year later, when I'm 20, so right now. I answered all these questions this morning, just before recording this podcast, and the answers were incredibly interesting. The questions were like, what did you learn in a year? How do you see the world? Are you still with your girlfriend? How is it going? And all these things that are like really time based, but also timeless. You know what I mean? What have you learned in a year? Like, it's really for this year, but like, you realize how much you can learn in a year, which is like way bigger than what you can think of. There is a famous say that says, you underrate, no, you overrate what you can do in a day, but you underrate what you can do in a year. And it's such real. Like, you can do so many things in a year. It's incredible. Like 365 days in a row, and you can do so many things in that. Like, there's a chance that like in a year I'm doing something really different than what I'm doing right now. There's no chance that a year ago I knew I was in Cardiff actually making a podcast in English and in French about my life in Cardiff for my friends and for like just documenting my life. I didn't think about it at all a year ago. But right now I am in Cardiff. I'm like making a podcast with a microphone that is on a ruler so that I don't have to hold the microphone on my mouth. And all of this is like incredible and unplanned. It's amazing. I really, really love that. And just realizing this by answering questions that are really like not interesting, like not interesting, but like how can I say that? Like they are not like deep questions about my life where I would have to think about it for years or hours. hours. Hours are more realistic, but like I don't have to think about this for hours. But like just realizing how I answered them a year ago and how I answer them right now is amazing. And yeah, I love that. That's kind of what I'm already doing like every year at the beginning of the year. During January, at the end of December and during January, I'm making an annual review where I'm like journaling what I'm doing actually and what I've done during the year. But the most important part is that I'm doing a personality test where like I answer questions about situations and how I would react in these situations. And this is one of the biggest thing, the most interesting and the most impactful thing I have done for the last 3 years. Because now I can see how I evolve during these years. Like, for example, this personality test is called Big Five because it's about like 3 big category. So neuroticism, extroversion, openness to experience, agreeableness, and conscientiousness. And like I have a grade on this part where it's going between 0 and 120. And so, for example, with neuroticism, in 2022, I had a score of 44. In 2023, I had 52, and in 2024, I had 59. And so, this is going up. So, for neuroticism, it means like neuroticism refers to the tendency to experience negative feelings. So, it means that I'm feeling more that I can feel more negative feelings over the years. And like, why? Probably because I'm with Amber and so my mood and how I'm feeling is not only depending of me but also on another person. And so you can feel how you evolve around the years. And right now it's not in 3 years, but maybe in 20 years I will have like 23 personality tests, and my evolution during these years. And I think it's the most impactful thing that you can do right now. And it's like it takes like 10 to 20 minutes to do it entirely. Even no, 10 minutes maximum. And it's amazing. It's really amazing to check the results, compare them with the years before, realizing that you're more immoderate, but also more vulnerable than before, or something like that. Really, I can't encourage you to do this more than that. It's the best thing. It's the best thing ever that you can do right now. So yeah, I encourage you also to do a time capsule, because you're learning so much in a time capsule. Your your mindset changes so much between like a year ago and now, that answering basic questions will underline how like your experiences changed your way of thinking and your way of being with other people. And it's really, really, really interesting. So yeah, that's it. These are like the three things I want to talk with you about this week. I want to talk with you about this week. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any thought about it's true about the music and the fact that I probably won't listen to music anymore alone, feel free to send me a message. Really, let's have a chat about this. It will be amazing. And if you have any questions that you would like to ask yourself now and in a year, please do create an email, and like you can just schedule the email to be sent a year ago to yourself, like from your address mail to yourself, to your own address mail. And really, it's really, really the most interesting thing to do right now. So yeah, let's do this, and I hope you enjoyed the podcast. See you next week.